and action.
Okay, ako si Apoc, the Death Architect, MC, producer, songwriter under Uprising Records, battle rapper din ng Fliptop Battle League.
Ang pahit mo ngayon, tol, no? Tingnan mo yung register mo sa camera, tol.
Oh.
So, syempre, alam na, marami na nakakaalam kung sino ka sa MC, but what they don't know is, you are a manager, di ba? Sa kumpanya. An MC, a music producer, and a lover. No? We all know that time management is the key. So, syempre, laging ganun, time management. Pero, what keeps you balanced, no, while wearing different hats at any given time? Syempre, yung day job, what keeps you balanced as a person na matugunan mo tong mga to?
Yeah, syempre, importante yung, importance ng time management, syempre, is you keep balance of your life. Diba? Yun, may isang angulo na masobrahan, magsasuffer yung isa, or vice versa. So, how I actually do it is, prioritization naman yun. It's not like may schedule ako on paper, alam mo yun, hindi naman umabot sa ganung level, no? Pero, just being conscious of what you actually need in life. Like, yun nga, for example, I'm a manager sa isang kumpanya. At the same time, may sa music or battle, whatever the case may be, sa creative side of things. And syempre, personal life ko, personal relationships, pamilya, sa girlfriend ko. Yun, so just being in tuned, ano yung mga priorities na yun. Diba? Ano yung mga kailangan mong i-priority. And if you have that in mind, everything else should follow. Yun, ano yung mga importante sa'yo? Yun, ano yung close sa puso mo? Yun, bibigyan mo ng tamang panahon, tamang oras sa mga bagay na yun. And yun, there's no science or step-by-step how to do it. Yun, kung alam mo yung mga priorities mo, ano yung importante sa'yo, you'll be able to pull it off, even unconsciously at times, di ba? And another thing is, siguro nakatulong in terms of balance is, ano ba yung balance? Di ba, to begin with? Pag sa'yo mong kailangan balance, kailangan may time management, pero underneath all of that, ano ba yung balance? Yun, so, kung how I figured it is, kailangan sa isang araw, kung may 24 hours, ano yung division ng 24 hours na yun. So, ako, how I actually do it is, kung may 8 oras sa 24 oras, 8 oras trabaho, 8 oras sa ibang bagay, pamilya, creative o kung ano man. Tapos yung 8 oras tulog. Yun yung balance. Yun. Kasi pag may sumobra, kung yung sumobra ka sa trabaho, 10 hours, syempre jeopardize na yung iba. Yun. Sumobra ka sa pamilya, sa trabaho, sakripisyo na yung tulog mo. So yun, so that's how I see it na sa isang oras. Na dapat, syempre, realistically speaking, there will be times na hindi mo pull off. Pero if you have that frame in mind, at least, you put yourself in that position na mas tamang landas to achieve that balance. Yun.
Balance. Now, there has been a major change, like, massive change in your lifestyle. Siyempre, alam ko, no, tayong dalawa nun, yosihan, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Matinding inom, and the food that we want, no? Lalo number one sa atin yan, di ba?
Chibog.
Oo, chibog talaga. So, can you share us about, like, the first days? Kasi, ang naalala ko yung nag-shoot tayo for
Guhit ng
Palad. And then you stop smoking that time, so that's what? Nung ganun ako. So, can you share us about it? Like, the motivation of yung ganun nun?
Yun, so syempre, sa mga ganun, it always, sa lifestyle change, it will always involve or identifying a need. Yun, so yung need nun is, nagsasuffer kasi yung performance ko sa stage. Sa breathing, tipong pangalawang kanta pa lang, hingal na ako. Yan, so yun, so I was able to identify the need to change, or not totally change, pero alam mo, at least tweak or do something about it. Yun, so dumating na sa point na ganun yung performance ko, nahihirapan ako. So doon ko rin na-test na gano'n ko rin kamahal yung ginagawa ko . And just like that, di ba? I was able to make that decision. And mind you, I've been smoking since like, I was 15. And when I stopped, I was 33. Ilang taon yun? Walang tigil. Di ba? Doon ko rin na-test na, mahal ko talaga ginagawa ko. I can let go of that almost, a decade and a half of vice. So doon nagsimula. So mga 2 years ago, July din, July ngayon, di ba? Magto 2 years na ako come next week. Tumigil ng Yose. That was my first step sa pagtigil ng Yose. Yun nga, yung very first day, yun yung shoot ng Guhit ng Palad, together with Mong. Yun. So yun. And na-pull off ko naman, dumating sa isang taon. Yun, last year, July. Yun, so I thought of yung 1 year mark, inisip ko na ano yung next step ko. Na-achieve ko na to. So doon na pumasok ang idea ng pag-workout. Yun. So na-improve ko na kasi after a year, naramdaman ko sa performance ko na nag-improve. Yung pagdala ko sa sarili ko sa stage. Natatapos ko yung set na walang problema sa paghinga ko. Pero yun lang naisip ko, what's the next step for that? Yun. So that's when I thought na, yun nga, mag-workout. I started slowly lang pa sundot-sundot ng araw-araw pa 20 minutes a day, and I progressed from there, and I've been doing it and then July last year, August last year, kasi July on anniversary, it took me a month to figure out what to do next. So August last year rather, I started working out, and ayun, July, so this marks the 12th month of me working out, and I lost like, I don't know, 45 pounds more or less at this point with the consistency without stopping. Ayun.
Nice. And I noticed syempre, since there's a shift dun sa lifestyle of, nakita ko din na you collaborated with young rappers, no, young MC starting out or might be nasa gitna ng karera nila, na nagre-rediscover ng mga karera nila. But you're there. I mean, nagulat ako may mga collaborations ka with these rappers. And ikaw, as an MC, ano yung mga naaalala mo on top of your head lang na mga natututunan mo sa kanila?
Yan, marami. Not just technical side of things. Magandang experience siya para sa akin makipag-collaborate. Most importantly, someone outside of Uprising. Kasi that's a different perspective. Kasi inside Uprising, yes, nakatrabaho na kung sino-sino sa under the same umbrella. Pero someone would, from the outside would give you a different perspective. Kasi syempre, iba yung upbringing nila. Sa upbringing sa Uprising, iba-iba kami yung background, pero may similarities kami sa prinsipyo, sa direksyon ng music. So yun, so refreshing makita ng ibang perspective. And so siguro, so to drill it down, like for example, kaya when we did Anito with Marco BNG, ayun, I saw how he composes, not really composes, pero how he comes up with the melodies. Kasi yung style niya is rap and kumbaga mixed with singing. So kumbaga, ganun pala paano gawin yun na tasteful, na flavorful. And na-appreciate ko si Marco bilang artist. That's why I chose to work with him to begin with. Ayun, so yung mga ganong technicalities, and personality-wise, is a good kid. I love working with him, and I hope in the future we'll be able to do more music. And like for example, on the other side of things, Blazing Skull Records, sila Edward Scotter, sila Jenner. And then, similar din. So, I get to see how they do it. Kahit may, alam mo yun, kahit lamang ako sa experience sa kanila, lamang ako ng taon, dekada, o kung ano pa man. Marami man ako alam at this point, pero at the same time, hindi ko naman alam lahat eh. Di ba? Kahit sino naman, marami kang alam, pero hindi mo pa rin alam lahat. So, like what I said, it's refreshing to see what they do. So like for example, kay Jenner sa Blazing Skull, I see or I hear how he mixes songs. So may mga tips and tricks din ako natututunan na pwede ko apply sa sa sarili kong production. So yun, so and okay din sila personality wise. And ayun, it's a really good learning process, not just for the technical side of music, pero bilang tao rin eh. Yung nakakasalimuha ka ng iba't ibang klaseng personalidad, estilo, kung ano pa man. So yun.
noise. So in terms of the mental health, of course, we always talk about this, no?
Yes, sir.
Mental health, confusion, or maybe the millennial term of existential crisis and all those things. No? And your personal, I mean, with those, sa mga tanong na, sa mga words na yun, na ano sa personal experience mo. I mean, you have, kumbaga, you have experienced those things.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thought about it and how you, at least, not say recover, pero how do you cope with that, alam mo yun, existing conditions? Paano ka nakaano doon?
Yun, so for a little bit of background, I guess, for it to make sense, di ba? So, around 2018 and 19, those 2 years was really tough for me, personally. Ayun, so it started off with, 2018, my father died, and a couple of months after, my grandmother died. And then months after, I broke up with my girlfriend, who I was been with for a decade. Then a couple of months after that, my uncle died. A couple of months after that, DJ D-Tech died, rest in peace. And after that, to top it, kumbaga cherry on top, I dated someone who turned out to be abusive, or someone who has a personality disorder. Na huli ko na nalaman, syempre. So, kumbaga, that kind of disorder is abusive in nature, manipulative in nature. So, by the time that I found out about it or figured it out, because I figured it out all by myself, yun, so it was too late. Yun. And so, it was a really tough year. Those 2 years, to be precise. Yun. But to answer the question, I was able to overcome it is muna sa lahat, identifying it Yun, di mo alam na may problema di mo masosolusyon yung problema kung di mo alam kung may problema to begin with Kasi I brought myself up since bata pa ako na self-sufficient, na for the most part of my life, kaya kong maraming bagay. Tsaka anong problema Pero yung 2 years span na yun na sunod-sunod somehow took a toll on me, mentally. Yun nga kasi kala ko all this time kaya ko, pero dun medyo tinamaan talaga ako to the point na depression na pala yun. I didn't know. And pero I figured that out by just being in tune with how I was feeling at the time. So at the time, I was feeling, to perfectly describe it, siguro makakaguess lang nito kung sino man naka-experience So at the time, I was feeling dead inside. Yun, and I was incapable of feeling any positive emotion. So literal, from the moment I wake up, either I just feel mad, angry, or sad. Dun lang. Pagkamulat ng mata ko, hanggang matulog ako sa gabi, yun ang nararamdaman ko. So yun, so kumbaga, dahil sa inner monologue, yun, importante yun Kaya na may inner monologue na at least na-identify ko na, ay, ito pa yung nararamdaman ko. O nga, for the past couple of months, ito yung nararamdaman ko. That's the first step. Yun. From there, you'll be able to know what to do from there. Yun, so from there, research, basa ako, nood akong videos o kung ano naman regarding my situation para ma-identify mo ano naman yung mga solution. So specifically, to drill it down further, yun, I sought help through a support group who experienced the same type of abuse. Ayun, helpful yung group na yan, na mga same victims din of the same personality disorder. I get to hear their stories, especially from those who actually recovered from it already, and kumbaga anong ginawa nila. So that's really helpful, how to recover from that, and to fully understand what I experienced, abuse. And after that, I sought professional help. Yun, for the first time in my life, I went through therapy. So at least ano rin yun validating na hindi, kasi at that point lahat lang naman ang alam ko research on the back of my head, hindi ko pa rin alam, hindi pa rin kumpirmado to. Hindi pa rin kumpirmado na depressed ako, hindi pa rin kumpirmado na abuse yun. So at least doon, sa therapy, at least, okay, ayon sa kwento ko, ayun, at least na-validate na I really dealt with someone with a personality disorder. I really, went through trauma. I really went through abuse. Ayun, and, ayun, so, after that, yun, so at least, packet na in terms of recovery from there. I took steps. Another thing that really helped me is to tell about it. Yun, kasi isa pa yun eh. Yun, for so many months, I kept it to myself, especially for a guy. Isa pa yun, for a guy na, di ba, pag lalaki ka, na-abuse ka, ang jahe nun, di ba? Kalalaki mong tao, na-abuse ka. Di ba? Yun eh. Yun. So, kumbaga, not just this type of shit. Any type of abuse naman eh. Like for example, rape victims eh. Hindi naman kinubukasan na rape sila, nakapagsalita sila eh. Di ba? Meron sa kanila na 20 years after, tsaka lang magsasalita. Mga victim of domestic violence. Yan, mga ganyan. Hindi naman kinabukasan magsasalita eh. Because that's part of the abuse, that's part of the trauma. So, similar to what I experienced, yun din yun. Yun, kasi there would be shame, there would be embarrassment. And nga, especially for a guy to be abused by a woman, yung shame. Kaya that's why I kept it to myself for a long time. Yun. Pero, mali. Yun. Mali. Kailangan may i-voice out mo yun. That's when I started to talk about it to my friends, to loved ones, and doon nagsisimula yung therapeutic effect niya. And not only that, I put those experiences sa songs na hindi nyo marinig kahit kailan. Akin lang yun. Pero therapy yun. Pero therapeutic yun. Similar sa nag-journal, ibang nagsa-therapy. Yun eh. Iba yung you actually write it down. Yun. So sa akin, similar din, I write it down and record it over a beat. Yun. So, yun yung journey ko. And I can confidently say na I'm okay now. Kasi the fact that I'm able to casually talk about this signifies that I'm okay now. That is why it's important na, ayun, I hope you guys can learn from this. Yeah.
That is so nice. Well, talking about recovery songs and putting those in your craft, no? So I noticed that, of course, with the collaborations, di ba, with the younger kids, ano yung natutunan mo naman in terms of, or we've seen a lot of changes and improvements, kasi di ba, from your recent album na napakinggan ko, tapos yung ngayon na iba na yung production value, no? Pero what have you rediscovered about your talent after that incident, no, of having like problems with your mental health and the abuse? Ano yung bago mong na-rediscover na, tangina, kaya ko pala to?
And then through the process of that year, actually specifically last year, last year when, because I did the therapy thing early last year, pre-pandemic, so before the pandemic hit, yun yung therapy ko eh. And ayun, so through the course of 2020, I wrote a bunch of songs. Hiwalay pa doon sa mga naka-release ngayon. Na yun, doon nilagay, may kanta tungkol sa tatay ko, may kanta doon sa abuse, may kanta tungkol sa ex ko, kung ano-ano pa. Pero production-wise, or to answer your question about rediscovering things, it kind of took me back to my roots in terms of music theory. Ayun, kasi for the most part of my career sa production, it has always been sample-based. Ayun, so for what do you mean by that exactly is, ayun, like for example, you take a sample from an existing song, like for example, ano ba, Earth, Wind and Fire song, cut a bar sample and loop it, put drums over it, and sundutan mo na ng kung ano ng elements. Pero this time around, last year, when I say it took me back to my roots is, kumbaga mas musikero, na yung melodies galing sa utak ko, not coming from somebody else's song. So mas feel ko na mas musikero ko ngayon. Alam mo yun, the tune, the melody, the harmonies is coming from my head. Yun. So I tinkered around the piano, just coming up with melody that sounded good to me, and I build from there. Yung the drums, kung nagsimula sa piano, nalagyan ko ng gitara, dinigyan ko ng strings, ako naman. So mas compositor ka eh. Yun, so kumbaga, and when I say it brought me back to my roots, kasi that's how I started. When I was young, I had formal training sa music. I had piano lessons, I had voice lessons. So I experimented, besides sa production, I experimented on harmonies sa pag-rap. Yun, so you'll be able to hear that sa, like, yun nga, sa Anito. Yun, kumbaga, a mix and match of notes. And with a production, with a collaboration with the other heads, then, yun, mas musikero lang yung feeling ko. And I always had that background, pero hindi ko talaga siya na exhibit to the full extent until last year. So yun, so right now that's what I've been doing for the most part of it. Ayun, with the new songs, I'm trying to come up with new level, I guess, of musicality that you can expect from me.
Well, of course, we're talking about the songwriting and music production. Dun tayo sa kabila naman. It's the battle MC, Apoc the Dead Architect, no, mga ganyang level, no. We always talk about process, and I ask you this question a couple of times. And regarding preparations, what's your process from pen work to memorization to antics or execution? Yung mga ganun mo. How do you process that? If ever, just to give idea lang, not at least to shed out any secret shit mo. Pero I mean, yung ano lang yung process mo as a battle MC, syempre iba yung music production eh. Yun yung kulinaro mo sa akin dati, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay ba yun, tol? Okay. So, gusto kong marinig ng mga tao naman na nanonood dito kung ano yung sinabi mo rin sa akin dati. Now, what's your from pen work, parang or process mo na lang before a battle. So for example, there's a battle next month, okay? Given date and all that shit, how will Apoc prepare?
Ayan. So, more or less, you're gonna be given a month. For the most of the time, you'll be given a month to prepare for someone. So, siguro, what separates me from the rest is may pagka-tactician ako eh. In terms of how I approach the opponent. Kumbaga, my approach is tailor-fitted sa opponent. So, most of the time, kung ano yung bibitawan ko sa sino mang kalaban ko, hindi ko pwede sabihin kahit kanino, dun lang talaga sa kalaban na yun. So yun, so exactly how I do that is, talaga, recon work eh. As nag-reference ka ng Dragon Ball will tell me something. Nag-reference ka ng Einstein will tell me something. Kasi we are all products of our own environments eh. So doon ka na-expose. Kung yun yung nire-reference mo, it will tell me something about your personality. So not just that, sa iba na battle MCs na may mga kanta, pinapakinggan ko rin at times kasi silip din yun. Similar sa what I just explained, silip din yun kung sino ka. Yun, ano yung how you choose song topics would tell me something about you. Yun, so siguro yun, underneath that, may pagka-analytical ako, not just an artist, as a person. So yun, so ang common comment or description sa akin ng most battle MCs or even fans is may angles. Yun, ano yung angle ko sa kalaban na yun. So I really look yung mga butas, mga loopholes na wala pang nagsasabi na iba, angles na you wouldn't expect kasi I see things differently. So that's how I prepare initially. I look at those loopholes, I look at those angles na no one else sees, na most of the time andyan na all this time pero walang nakapag-isip na gamitin yun. So most of the time yun, that's how I initially do kasi yun yung yun yung foundation mo sa material mo eh. Yun, so importante yun. And from there, I have listed down the ideas. Then I build around those. Yun. So, I come up with punchlines related dun sa angle na yun. Kunyari, for example, I'm gonna talk about butas mo sa style mo, what makes it whack. doon ko na inahasa yung delivery, how I intend to deliver it sa stage, and overall mastery. Maraming ways to memorize songs, not just reading it off some paper na paulit-ulit. Another memorization technique I do is, pag nasa ulo ko na, I'm gonna write it all over again on paper, hindi sa PC, hindi sa Microsoft Word, on paper. It sticks pag ganun yung memorization pag on paper. And ayun, and kumbaga spitting or rehearsing the verses or the rounds sa iba't ibang areas or environments. So besides sa bahay, minsan sa labas, I'd spit it sa bus, yung dati pa, yung pre-pandemic. Ayun, so kumbaga at least you get to familiarize or you get to be comfortable sa mga awkward na environments. So nasasanay na yung katawan mo sa actual battle na, kasi sa actual battle it can be unexpected.
Your message to your haters.
Una, at huli na rin, na mensahe ko para sa inyong mga haters, wala akong pake. Importante yung malaman yun. Kaya wag na kayo mag-effort, di ba? Mag-comment sa Facebook, sa battles ko. Kasi hindi man ako, for the longest time, hindi na ako sumisilip ng comment section sa YouTube, sa battles. Hindi. Yun, kasi sobrang, I'm not saying this as a defense mechanism lang para lang laban. Hindi, as in wala. Pag, yung sinulit ko yung wala akong pake, literal yun eh. Yun, wala akong pakialam sa inyo. Kaya huwag na mag-aksay ng panahon. Kasi wala kayong naitutulong sa akin. Others will say na constructive criticism o kung naman. Hindi ko kayo kailangan para mag-improve ako. Yun, in-tuned ako kung sino ako. I'm not saying that to be cocky. Alam ko yung strengths ko, at the same time, I acknowledge ano yung pagkukulang ko, ano pa yung kailangan kong hasain. So, kung alam ko na yung mga ganung bagay, ano pa silbi nyo? So, syempre, you wouldn't notice. Kung sino ng mga haters, automatic block. I will not spend a second responding to you motherfuckers. Okay? Just to make that clear. Kaya sige, kaya go ahead, magsaya ka ng oras. Lalo na yung mga long-winded na ang habang hate comments, nagkakasaya ng panahon, hindi ako magre-respond, automatic block yan. Wala kayong silbi para sa akin. Yun, doon na lang ako sa sa mga sumusuporta. Kasi sumusuporta, doon ako mag-aksaya ng panahon, di ba? Kaya sa inyo.
Talking about sa mga sumusuporta, of course, what's your, what should they expect? I mean, a lot of people right now can be expecting, what's the new song, no? At ako din, no? Dahil, let's do the music video. De joke. Yeah. So, but, of course, for in that instance, ano yung message mo sa mga fans na, alam mo yun eh, na matagal nang sumusuporta sa'yo talaga.
Yun. Sa mga sumusuporta, what I love about you guys, my supporters, is you dig my shit for what it is. It's not even for the label, it's not even dahil may Uprising label dyan. You actually love my shit because of the shit I talk about it. Yun. No frills, no hype, no gimmicks. Yun na yun. Di ba? Kumbaga, I write what I feel. It's always reality-based. Not just for the sake of it. Yun lang talaga yung trip kong gawin. Di ba? To write about my environment, my experiences. Yun lang talaga. Not just for the sake na para maging ganun. No, yun talaga eh. That's how I brought up myself eh. Ganun ko hinulma yung sarili ko. So that's why I appreciate you guys. Na whenever you guys, like, there's so many of you out there who message me privately or publicly about how Piesa ng Makina changed your lives, how Idolo impacted how you look at things, how Guhit ng Palad changed how you look at things. And yun yung reward nun eh. Yun. So kumbaga, bonus yun eh. Kumbaga kung sa mga supporters, I'm always appreciative of you guys kasi at the same time, validation ng trabaho ko yun eh. So, pero don't worry, yun, I know it's been a minute since I released an album. Yun nga, dahil sa mga mishaps na nangyari for the past 2 years. Pero yun, I'm currently working on a new full-length album, and this is something feeling ko, I hope so. I hope na mas ambitious mas ambitious to kaysa sa loob ng kabahong conceptually, concept-wise. It took me time to come up with a album concept, and yun, I got something big in store for you guys, so watch out for that. So I'm in the middle of doing my second solo album, Tagalog album, and iba yung approach, iba yung production, iba yung concept. So yun, so something to watch out for. Siyempre, no spoilers at this point, pero I'm crafting something really big for me. Yun. It starts with me. Yun. Kung tingin kong malaki to, impactful to, everything else should follow. So, yun, if you love loob ng kabahong, I'm confident that you love this shit. Yun.
Man, cut. Alright. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. Ano na yan, ano? Okay ba? It's been a while, ah.
Yes, sir. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Gusto ko yung it's been a minute. No? Parang... ano yan?
You love my shit.